Let's have a look at this squared around now. So it's offset squared around. So I've got 125 diameter inside, 200 by 100 inside there, and 100 overall. So we'll go into inventor, and we want to do a new sheet metal. Let's go start a sketch, and we'll go XY plane here. I'm going to drop down this menu to a center, 2-point center rectangle. Click on the origin here, and we'll type in 200 by 100. Finish the sketch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a new plane. We're going to offset it off the one that was drawn on. So I'm going to expand this menu here just so I can see this one. And I'm going to plane, offset from plane. It's already picked it up because I'd highlighted over here. We want this to be 100 high. Now we can start a new sketch on this plane we just created. And we'll go project geometry, so we'll project that center point there. And we've got an offset of 25 center to center for this circle. So I'll draw a circle and stick it below, and it's 125 diameter. Let's dimension it from the center there. 25. It's still blue, so we need one more constraint, which I'm betting is a vertical from here to here. So yep, so that's fully constrained now. Let's go to finish sketch. And I'm going to turn this work plane off so we don't have to look at it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my sheet metal defaults. So we are in 0.55 galvanized steel. So untick that one. Now we've got our thickness set. We want to come over here to lofted flange and click on both of the profiles here. You can see by default it tends to go to the press brake formed one, which works just fine. So you can do a press braked one. I usually prefer to come to this die formed one because it's just going to give me a more accurate pattern like that. It's not going to put little bends everywhere, and then I'd work out how to bend it from there. And the other thing we want to check is that we're going to the outside here, so you can see it's on the outside of the blue line, so that we could change with the offset directions here. So once we've got that as we want it, let's click OK. And here's our squared around pattern, squared around 3D. Next thing we want to do is we need some points to pull it apart at, because it won't do a flat pattern from here, so we need to turn on a plane, and right click that and go visibility. And the reason I've chosen that is because the pattern, if I split this in half, the pattern either side will be identical. So I can save this as one part and it's going to have two sides that are the same, just folded the opposite. So once you've got your plane open there, just go to point, click your plane and the edge. You can see it's put a tiny wee point there. Let's turn it around. Point again. Plane. Edge. There's our next point. It should pick up on these meeting points here, so let's just put a point there. And we'll put a point up in this corner here. Now I can turn the XYZ plane off. We don't need it anymore. And we can come over here to rip. So what we can do is we'll click on the face. So rip face is this one. point, that one, and you can see it's already gone straight down, so I didn't even need the 2 points there. And the gap size, so it's going to do a default gap size. So depending on how you're going to join this together, if you want a little bit of a gap for a butt weld or something like that, I don't really want a gap. I'm just going to put 0.1, just enough so that it actually splits it but hardly affects the pattern at all. So I'll hit apply on that. And so now we've got one split in it. So if I would go to create flat pattern, there's our flat pattern for it. But that would be really hard to fold that up. So I'm going to split it down the other side as well, just so it becomes two identical halves. So we'll go back to rip face, here, point, here, same again. And now we've got two halves. So if I go back to flat pattern again, it should just give me half the pattern. So we have two identical halves like that. Now I'm just going to set the material type to galvanized steel. So let's collapse all these and save this as the part. Save it as an IPT, and we'll also click on the flat pattern. Now we'll go to the flat pattern, and what we'll do is left click, right click, export face as, and we'll go with DWG. So same folder as the other one. Save that as the flat pattern there. Next thing we're going to do is we're just going to bring it into a drawing file. So let's go new drawing template. We'll bring in the file here. Let's see what the home view looks like. It's not quite what we want. So I'm going to turn it around so I can see the offset nice and clearly. I think this corner here looks pretty good. And let's drag that out and make it a bit bigger. So that looks alright. Another thing you want to check is you've got tangent edges turned on. That'll just make sure you can see these lines where they define the end of the rounded bits there. So let's put that in as our isometric. Chuck it up in the corner here. And we just need our third angle projection to show the dimensions and everything. So come back to place views. And yep, we'll go with that view there. 1 to 1.5 will fit a bit better than that. We'll leave it a little bit bigger so we can dimension it easier. We'll make sure we're on hidden line removed. And we go OK there. You can see it's coming, you can't see where those folds end here, so what I'm going to do is right click on it, edit the view, and turn those tangent edges on so that'll look a bit better from the top. So let's do right click and go projected view, so that'll be the front. Right click, projected view, side. Now it looks like it's going to go down from it, but it seems to be a bit of a bug in the software. It actually goes in line with it, so I don't know what that's about really. The next thing I'm going to do is put some center lines in here so we can dimension it center to center. So I'm going to come over to annotate and I'll put a center line in here, and it's picked up on it being 4 separate quarters. So I'll click 1, to make sure I've got enough there, and if I want center lines the other way, I can go this option here, and that line and that line, that line and that line, the outside line and that outside line there. So that's close enough for what we need. Now we're just going to put some dimensions on it. So let's put a dimension here for the diameter. It's picked up on that edge there. It's picked up a radius, and that's the outside. So we know for this one we want it to be 125 inside. So I'm just going to go up here, hide dimension value, put the diameter symbol in, 125, right inside there. Then I'm going to put the base dimensions on here. So let's grab the end of this line and the end of this line. You see it's not quite grabbing the exact points we want, so that's why I'm going to this high dimension value and just manually putting it in. 200 inside. $100 inside. Overall height, let's go from that edge to that edge. Nope, it's picked up an angle. Let's go from this edge to a point then. I'll go back into dimension, this edge to that point. There we go, so we've got a vertical dimension now of 100. So everything else has been put in as no decimal places. So what we can do here is we can either hide the dimension and type it again, or we can go to the precision and tolerance and just make it 0 decimal places. So that'll just bring it to 100. Then we're just going to fill out our title block. It's our drawing completed, so let's save it there as an IDW. There we have it, and the next thing we want to do is export it to a PDF. So we'll go up here to File, Export, PDF. Make sure you're in the same folder. Should automatically name it if you've named the drawing itself, and hit save. So let's open that up and have a look. So that was the here it is in here. And the one thing I've forgotten to do is do the center to center here, the offset. So if I quickly close all tabs, minimize that for now, and I can just go back to annotate, dimension it here from here, We know it's 25, it's going to pick up 25.3 because it's not perfectly picking up on the centers. So let's just go to precision and tolerance, go 0, 25 offset. Control S to save it again, and we'll do file export to PDF. Click on that one, make sure you're closed out of it. And here it is. So what we're going to do is just these 4 drawings here, you're going to have to put in the Dropbox on Moodle for me. So PDF, IPT, IDW, and DWG.